Okay, here we go, guys. Topic 8, activity sheet 3, more solving a linear equations. Through this, guys, stay with me on this, okay? I know it's going to be a lot, but I have all the confidence in you, and then you can use your class time with your regular teachers to get any extra questions answered, and they can maybe explain a little bit more. Okay, so let's take a look at this first question. They want us to use algebraic operations to solve this equation right here. This is very similar to what we did the other day. They're multi-step equations, meaning it takes more than 2 steps to solve here. So let's take a look here at this. I first give you some steps, okay? I'm first going to give you some steps here that I want you to take note of. Okay, step 1 is to distribute if we see parentheses, okay? When I look at this problem here, there's no parentheses. Just because a step is there doesn't mean we have to do it, okay? So because in this particular problem, there's no parentheses, we can skip it. It's like there, we checked it off, okay? So our next step that I have here in green is to combine like terms. So when I look at the left-hand side, I just see an 8 and a minus 3y. Those are not like terms, so we're not going to touch those. I dropped those right down here. When I look at this side over here, I see a 7y and a minus 5y. Okay, 7 minus 5y can go together to make a 2y. And then again, I'm going to take that minus 2 and drop it down to the next step. I didn't touch it yet. My next step is to plus or minus our letters to the left. This is where we pick up from yesterday. These are the same steps from yesterday. Plus or minus our letters to the left. So if you look here, okay, I see I have a 2y that has to go to the other side. Because it's positive, I'm going to minus it. So I minus 2y's on both sides. Be careful here with your math, guys. Negative 3 minus 2 is going to be negative 5y. I'm going to drop that 8 down. And I'm going to drop that minus 2 down. And I'm left with 8 minus 5y equals negative 2. My next step here that I put in pink is to plus or minus our numbers to the right. So when I look over here, my plain number that has to go to the other side is going to be that 8. How am I going to do it? I'm going to minus 8 on both sides. And when I do that, I'm going to drop that minus 5 down. 8 minus 8 cancels. It's gone. I'm left with negative 5y equals, and over here, again, guys, watch your negatives. Negative 2 minus 8 more is negative 10. And then that last step, guys, it's multiplication. So that means we divide because it's 5 times y. Sorry, negative 5 times y. We're going to undo that using divide. Divide both sides by negative 5. Leaves me with 1y equals positive 2. Going down to question 2 here. There's a lot more involved at this one. Take a deep breath. We're going to go down each one of these steps to make sure we get everything done. Okay. So my first step is going to be to distribute. So this is whether you're thinking feed the babies, double distribute, wrecking ball. Trying to think of all the things that some of your teachers may say. And all I can think of is what I say. Okay. I came in like a wrecking ball, okay? Or the rainbow method, guys. Lots of things that we could call this, but they all mean the same exact thing. That means to multiply that number outside the parentheses to every single thing inside the parentheses. And when I do that, I get 4k, and then 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. That 4 does not distribute to the 7. Drop it straight down. Okay, over here, that 2 does not distribute, okay? Your wrecking ball, your mama bird, your rainbow, that is only the number right outside the parentheses. So that 2k drops down. Negative 1 times k is negative 1k, and negative 1 times 8 is negative 8. Our second step, just like I listed up here, is going to be to combine like terms, CLT. On the left-hand side, the negative 12, 7 are like terms. On the right side, the 2 minus 1k are like terms. And when I do that, my 4k drops down, and that negative 12 and positive 7 come down to make a negative 5. On this right-hand side, 2 minus 1 make 1k, And then that -8 drops down. My next step, plus or minus your letters to the left. Get your letters on the left. Okay, 1K's got to go because it's positive. I'm going to minus it. Bring it over here, minus it. 4 minus 1 leaves me with 3K. Drop down that -5. Next step, plus or minus your numbers to the right. Get your numbers on the right. Okay, that means that -5 has to go. So I'm going to add 5. Because I add 5 here, I must add 5 here. Drop down your 3K. And I'm left with 3K equals -3. Last step, divide. 3 times K is -3, so I need to divide both sides by 3. -3 divided by 3 leaves me with K equaling -1. Okay, let's flip the page over to question 3. Okay, things get a little crazy here, guys. Not gonna lie, they get crazy. How many of you guys are sitting here like, nope, not even gonna do it? Take a deep breath. I'm gonna walk you through it, and then you can breathe a little bit more because this is about as difficult as us teachers are gonna make it for you, okay? And I'm pretty sure that on our test that we have, and I know this because I made the test, our test is not going to have something as difficult as this. We just want you to see it. Okay. So with this, guys, we're going to follow our same steps, but what we're going to do, because we don't like fractions, we're going to get rid of our fractions. How am I going to get rid of our fractions? Well, I don't know if you guys remember back in the day. Okay. In order to add fractions together, they have to have a common denominator to do it. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I look at all the denominators, and this 5 has a denominator of 1, in case you were wondering. I'm going to look at all of the denominators. So I have a 1, a 3, and a 2, and then another 3. I need to find something in common. And by common, I mean a number that all of them can multiply into. The easiest way to do that is just to multiply, pick your number. So I see a 3, a 1, and a 2. What is the smallest number that they can go into? And that's 6. So to do that, I have to multiply both sides, everything on both sides, by the number 6. Okay. When I do that, it just multiplies to the top number. Okay. Just multiplies to the top number. Let's leave that bottom number there. When I multiply it, I get 6b over 3. Plus 30, if you want, you can put a 1 there. Okay. 6 times 3b is 18. Put that 2 there. And 6 times 1 is 6 over 3. Now we can simplify this, guys. 6 divided by 3 equals 2. So I have 2b. 30 over 1 is just 30. 18 divided by 2 is a 9b. And 6 divided by 3 is 2. So my problem is going to say this now. 6b plus 30 equals 9b plus 2. Now we pick right up where we left off on the other side. Get your letters to the left. So first thing I'm going to do, get rid of that 9b. How? Minus it on both sides. Drop down the 30, drop down the 2. And I get -7b plus 30 equals 2. Get your numbers to the right. So to get rid of a plus 30, we're going to minus 30. Minus 30 on both sides. Watch your negatives. And we get that -7b equals -28. Next step, last step, get rid of the multiplication using division. I'm going to divide both sides by -7 to get that b equals +4. Okay. Now, flip over to question 4. On this, guys, you're going to see proportions. We've done proportions before. Proportions are easy, okay? The big thing here, guys, cross multiply. Although our multiplication may look a little bit different, it's the same thing. Cross multiply, or maybe your teachers called it the butterfly method, okay, means the same thing. So all we're going to do here, guys, and I apologize, you're going to see 2 problems at once here, but let's just pay attention to this one. Okay, the problem said x minus 3 over 5 equals x minus 6 over 2. We're going to cross multiply. That means you can see I took the pink here. Okay, that gets multiplied together, and then my 5 to my x minus 6. And what I get there, guys, is I haven't multiplied at all. I've just written it out what I'm doing. I'm doing 2 times x minus 3. That's my first diagonal. And then 5 times x minus 6. That was my second diagonal. This is just like what we did before now, okay? We have to distribute. When I distribute, I get 2x minus 6 equals 5x minus 30. Get your letters to the left. So I'm going to get rid of that 5x by subtracting it on both sides. Be careful here. 2 minus 5 is negative 3. And I'm going to bring down that minus 6. Over here, bring down the minus 30. Get your numbers to the right. So I got to get rid of that plus 6. How do I get rid of how do I get rid of a minus 6? I need to add 6. Add 6 on both sides. Drop down the minus 3x. Be careful again with your negatives. Okay, I'm left with negative 3x equals negative 24. Get rid of our multiplication using division. Divide both sides by negative 3, and we get that x equals positive 8. Okay, I'm not going to go through this problem, but you can take a look at what I did here. I cross multiplied, distribute, letters to the left, numbers to the right, divide. Same steps every time here, guys. Let's take a look at this last problem here. I saved this one to do with you guys. So I have my steps again. Step 1, cross multiply. So I'm going to put this one over here. I have a 5 and an x plus 4. So I'm going to write that as 5 times x plus 4. Put my equal sign down. And then I have my other side. Cross multiply the other side. And it's 8 times 3x minus 7. Okay. Step 2 is to distribute. 5 times x is 5x. 5 times 4 is a positive 20. Draw my line there. Over here, 8 times 3x is 24x. And 8 times negative 7 is going to be negative 56. And if you don't know those multiplication facts, guys, no big deal. Get your calculator out. Okay. Next step is to combine like terms. Well, when I look at this side, there's no combining like terms to do. I don't have to worry about it. When I look at this side, no combining like terms. I got an x and a number. So I'm going to go down to number 4. Plus or minus my letters, meaning get your letters to the left. So I'm going to get rid of this 24x by subtracting 24x. Minus 24x. That leaves me with negative 19x. Bring down my plus 20 equals, over here on this side, I just have negative 56. Okay, so then on to the next step, guys. Next step, plus or minus our numbers to the right. So I need to get rid of this plus 20. How do I get rid of plus 20? We're going to minus 20. And when I do that, I get, again, guys, watch your signs here. Negative 19x equals negative 76. Okay, and then my last step is to divide. Divide both sides by negative 19. And when I do that, 76 divided by 19, negative 76 divided by negative 19 is a positive 4. See, that wasn't so bad. Okay, 6 steps total, and we only had to do 5. Okay, and some of you could probably do steps 1 and 2 in 1. Okay, question 5, guys, I want you to go ahead and cross off question 5. Okay, use this space for your class notes. Okay, any class notes that you may do, use this space there. Let's go on to the next page, number 6. Okay, now I don't want you guys to worry about the graphing over here. I did that for you. I just want you to see what it looks like. Okay, So we have this problem, x plus 2 equals x plus 5. Let's go ahead and solve this. First thing I'm going to do here, plus or minus my letters to the left. So these are both 1x's. Remember Beyonce, if it's single, then you got to put a 1 with it. If it's single, then you got to put a 1 with it. So how do I get rid of a 1x? I'm a minus 1x. Minus 1x. I'm left with 0x plus 2 equals 5. Okay. Plus or minus my numbers to the right. So I'm going to say minus 2 on both sides. And guys, on these, see it through all the way. Some of you may be thinking, I know what happens. See it through. Okay. See it through. When I do this, guys, I'm left with 0x equals 3. Now, remember, anything times 0 is 0. My letter totally disappears. And I want you guys to think about this. 0 equals 3. What? 0 equals 3? That makes no sense, okay? When it is not true, when our letters disappear and it's not true, guys, what that means is a big, fat, giant, no solution. Okay, that is your answer. You can't just leave it blank, though. You have to say, hey, teacher, look here. There is no solution. Okay, and what I want to show you guys up here is what I did was I took this equation and pretend like it was y equals. That's my red one. And I graphed it. And then I took my green one here, same thing, and I graphed it. Well, they turned out to be parallel lines, guys. And what did we learn about parallel lines? They never cross, which means that they have no solution. Okay. Now let's take a look at this next one. Same exact idea, guys. My problem changed a little bit. Instead of x plus 2 equals x plus 5, it says x plus 2 equals x plus 2. Now, some of you guys may be thinking something already, but let's just do the math here. Let's go ahead and solve this. Okay, so on this graph, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my letters to the left. Remember, Beyonce, single, put a 1 with it. So I'm going to minus 1x on both sides. Again, 0x. Some of you guys, you could cross it off too and say, I have this left. But again, if you need to see it through all the way, see it through, okay? And I have minus 2 on both sides. And I have 0x equals, 0. 0 times x is just 0. Does 0 equal 0? Yes, it's true, okay? When my letters disappear and it comes out true, that is what we call infinite solutions. Infinite solutions. And what that means, guys, is that they were the same exact line. Look, x plus 2, x plus 2, they were the same. Some of you guys may have noticed that right away. When we graph each line, they are the same exact lines, meaning that every single number for one line is the same exact numbers for the other line. And then lastly, moving on to this, guys, this just taken. Don't stress about this next part. I'm going to show it to you, but we're not going to actually do it. Maybe your teachers will do a couple other ones. These are what we call literal equations. Okay, literal equations. Okay, and what we have, guys, is we don't have a whole lot of numbers. We just have letters. And all they're asking us to do is simply rearrange the equation so that instead of saying C equals, it's going to say R equals. All those letters are still going to be over there. For these types of problems, I like to make what I call a do-undo chart. Okay. Here's the original problem. I like to say, hey, I have to solve for this r. What's happening to it? What's the first thing I see happening to it? Well, the only thing I see happening to it is that it is being multiplied by 2 pi. Okay. So how do I undo a times 2 pi? I'm going to divide by 2i. So I come over here and I divide both sides by 2 pi. And when I do that, my 2's cancel, my pi's cancel, and I'm left with just r equals c divided by 2 pi. Again, guys, we didn't do any number crunching here. We just simply rearranged. Take a look at question 9, okay? They give us the equation 25x minus 5y equals 30. That's in what we call standard form. They want us to put it into slope-intercept form, which, as a reminder, is y equals mx plus b. Okay, so the steps here for this, get rid of the plus or minus. Really, guys, this is move your x. Move the x to the other side. So, again, we want the y by itself. So I got to get rid of this plus 25x, so I minus 25x. Take note, 30 and minus 25x are not like terms. Okay, you cannot put them together. So when we do that, we're going to list the x term first. That becomes negative 5y equals negative 25x plus 30. Again, we did not combine these. Okay? Now, to get that y by itself, we get rid of the division. Be careful here. When I divide this by negative 5, we have to divide everything over here by negative 5. Now we need to simplify. Negative 25 divided by negative 5 is positive 5, and 30 divided by negative 5 is negative 6. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and skip problems 10 and 11. I'll put this on here so that you can see, okay? I'm not going to walk you guys through it, but what I will tell you, when you make these do-undo charts, the last thing you see happening to the letter is going to be the thing that you start with, okay? You go in reverse order, okay? Because we're reversing the steps, we're also starting at the bottom to fix, okay? Your teachers can explain those ones to you. And that is it for these. You can work on the reinforced questions in class. Bye.